Good morning, Year 3 and Year 4. Happy Monday. It's Mrs. Pilkington here, and I'm going to be taking you through your learning this morning. So to start us off, we're going to have a little look at your timetable. So what we've got in this pack for you this morning is some maths fluency, some reading, a little bit of a writing challenge. There's some optional art to do today, some great online activities that you can have a go at, and then a little brain teaser to keep you going for the rest of the day. So first of all, this is your maths fluency task. What I'd like you to do is pop the date in your exercise book and have a go at each of the different activities. These should be really quick. They should be things that you know really easily, but my challenge for you today is to see how fast you can do them. So once you're ready and you've got the date and things in your book, just pause the video here, have a go at them, and when you've got all your answers, move on to the next section. So press pause now. Okay, that's absolutely super. I hope you've had a go at all of the different sections. I'm about to reveal your answers. So here are the answers to the different sections this morning. So the first section was to write the next numbers in the sequence. Hopefully you've spotted that those numbers were going up in tens. So you should have written the numbers 93, 103, 113 and 123 in section 1. Now moving on to section 2 here in the yellow. You had to circle the largest number in each of those pairs. So I'm hoping that you've spotted that whilst the numbers were similar, you're looking for that digit within the tens column. So you can see here 256 and this one's 265. So that's the one we're going to be circling. Again here, similar numbers, but this one's got a larger number, a larger digit in the tens column, so 744. And again here in that third one, 312 or 321. Again, we're looking at that tens column and we can see that the digit here is bigger than the one there. So we're looking for all three of those numbers correct. You're then down here in section 3 where you've been doing some adding up. It suggests partitioning, but I'm sure lots of you will have done the standard written method for those as well. So 75 plus 82 is 157. And 97 and 13 is 110. We then go on into section 4 for some doubling this morning. So hopefully you doubled your tens and you doubled your units and you put them back together nice and easily. So double 24 being 48. I think this is one that lots of you will know. So double 35 being 70. And then double 18, again thinking about our times table knowledge. You might have got that one from your 6 times tables because 6 times 3 is 18. So 6 sixes of 36, so that might have helped you with that this morning. Section 5, we're looking at different ways to make 100. I'm hoping that you got these super fast using those number bonds to 100 that you managed to do in year 2 and in year 3. Section 6 over here is a pizza is cut up into 12 slices and half of it's eaten. We're using our fractions here, how many slices are left. If I cut that picture just in half, you can see that we've got 6 on one side and 6 on the other. So hopefully you identified that half of 12 was 6. Totaling the coins up, the way I would have done that would be have started with my £2 coin and done £2, £2.50, 2.60, 2.65, 2.66, 2.67, 2.68. So hopefully you've got £2.68 there. And again, section 8 is all about a number fact this time. How many minutes in an hour? Hopefully it's something you knew super fast and you got that was 60. Absolutely brilliant if you got all of those correct. If you didn't, pause the video, have a little look at the answers and see if you can work out where you went wrong. Okay, so now we're going to move on and we're going to do some reading. So today's reading is all about sounds and it's all about listening. So first of all, I'm going to play you some different sounds. See if you can guess what those sounds are as I play them. Okay, did you get it? What do you think it is? Absolutely right, it was a ticking of a clock. Let's see if you can do the same with the second sound this morning. Oh, a bit trickier one this time. I wonder what you think it is. Well done if you thought it was a frying pan. It's bacon or sausages frying in a frying pan, that one. Let's have a look at the third sound today. Oh, that's a really, really tricky one. It's actually a kettle as it starts to boil. Well done if you got that one. I don't think I could have guessed that one. Let's listen to the last one. A nice, easy one, hopefully, to end there. And I'm hoping that you all got that was rain or water, certainly. So you can hear that from those sounds. So today's reading's all about the different things that you can hear. So what I'd like you to do now, under the title of reading in your exercise book, I want you to pause the video in a second. And then what I'd like you to do is just spend a couple of minutes really carefully listening in your house. See if you can hear some different sounds. See what you can hear happening in your house. So you might have the radio playing really softly somewhere. Maybe you can hear a TV in a different room. Maybe you can hear a tap dripping. Or maybe there's a car or an ambulance maybe that goes past the window. Maybe you can hear a clock ticking. Maybe you can hear the birds outside in your garden. But what I'd like you to do is just spend 2 minutes really listening carefully and trying to list down all of the different sounds that you can hear. So in your exercise book, under your title of reading today, can you make me a list of all the sounds that you can hear? So pause your video here. After you've waited your 2 minutes, replay, and we'll move on to the next activity. Okay, that's super. I can't wait to hear all of the different sounds and things that you were able to hear in your house when I can see your books when you come back to school. So why have I been asking you to do all of this listening this morning? Well, it's all to do with a poem, and this poem is called The Sound Collector by Roger McGough. And it might have been a poem that you've heard before, or it might be brand new to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it through for you, and I'd like you to be listening really carefully and trying to pick out all of those words and phrases that you, as the listener in this case, or the reader, really like. What engages you with this poem? So, The Sound Collector by Roger McGough. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes, and when you spread the marmalade, the scraping sound it makes. The hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill, the drumming of the raindrops on the window pane, and when you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey. He didn't leave his name, he left us only silence. Life will never be the same. So, what do you think about the poem? Do you like it? It's one of my favourites. I really like some of the images that it creates and lots of things that I can see happening in this house when the sound collector comes. Who's the sound collector? Why do you think he's collecting all of these sounds? I wonder where he's taking them. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at some questions linked to our sound collector poem now. And what I'd like you to do is in your books, I'd like you to have a go for me at each of the different questions. Use the text that's on the screen to explain your answers. Remember to try and put some quotes in because it says in the text this, and maybe add those things in there as well. You'll see on the screen that I've given you some sentence starters. These are written in red so that they can help you to understand the types of answers that you might give. Now I want you to pause the video and answer the questions. Remember to write it in full sentences, and when you've finished, restart the video and we'll go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. I hope you were able to answer some of those questions. We're going to have a little quick flick through the answers now. So hopefully you've picked up that stranger was dressed in black and grey. And there's no real right or wrong answer for this. We don't know why the author is dressed in black and grey. But I think the stranger is dressed in black and grey because they're stealing something. So I think if there was a robber in the house, they perhaps wouldn't want to be seen. And black and grey are really good colours to blend into the background. So I think that's what I might write as my answer for that one. Okay, the next one was all about spotting some clues within the poem. So really spotting some clues and ideas as part of the poem to spot what time of day it was. So what you might have noticed is it says right down here at the bottom, a stranger called this morning. So we know straight away that the time of day this poem is set is in the morning. But I think there were more clues than that. What you might have picked up is the whistling of a kettle. You might have had the popping of the toaster, or the crunching of the flakes, or the spreading of the marmalade. That all, to me, together suggests that it's breakfast time in this house. So I'm hoping that you picked up on some of those thoughts and ideas. Okay, the next question was all about why the poet used the word drumming to describe the raindrops. And if we think about that sound, that drumming sound, listen. I think that maybe the poet used that drumming sound to describe the rain because it was raining really heavily. And it gives us that idea that it's not just drizzling outside, it's making quite a big noise within the house. So I think it's to describe the fact that the rain was really heavy at that point. And then the last question is about the end of the poem. So what did the sound collector leave behind? And what do you think that means for the family? So if you looked right down here at the bottom of the poem, it tells us what he left behind. It says he left us only silence. So the first part of that answer would be the sound collector left behind only silence. And then the next part, I think that the family will feel, is your own personal choice. I think that the family will be quite sad about not having all of those sounds and those ideas happening in their house, because it says here that life will never be the same, and I think they might miss all of those sounds of those activities that they've been doing in the morning. But well done for answering those questions. We're going to carry on now and we're going to get on to our writing activity. So this poem that we have is all, let me just rub out those. This poem that we've got is all about different sounds, okay? So I'm going to read it through to you again. And if, as I'm reading it through, I'm wondering if you can spot all 16 different sounds that are included in this poem. What are the 16 different sounds? Try and tick them off on your fingers as you listen. So it's A Sound Collector by Roger McGough. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes, and when you spread the marmalade, the scraping sound it makes, the hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill, the drumming of the raindrops on the window pane, and when you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain, the crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain and the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning, he didn't leave his name. He left us only silence, life will never be the same. So, were you counting? Did you find all 16 of them? Absolutely super. We've got them all underlined on the screen for you so you can tick them all off. So what's your favourite sound within this poem? My favourite sound is this one down here, the gurgle of the drain. I really like the word gurgle. I really like it because it sounds like the noise that it makes. Just have a listen. This is a gurgle. I wonder if you can remember back when you did phonics and you did g g g g g g g g. And it was the gurgling of the drain that you did when you did your phonics lessons. So we call these words that sound like the noise that they make, onomatopoeia. So rather long and quite complicated spelling of a word. But it just means a word that sounds like the sound that it makes. So some other examples of this would be splash, splat, crack. So let's watch a little video clip to find out more about these onomatopoeic words.
Crash, bash, boom, pow. What was that sound? Rumble, growl, slurp, smack. Did you hear that? What's that? Onomatopoeia. Oink, neigh, woof, meow. What was that sound? Slap, flick, swoosh, whack. Did you hear that? What's that? Onomatopoeia. Their words imitate sounds. Listen, they are all around. Sniff, cough, chew, ow. What was that sound? Vroom, honk, screech, crack. Did you hear that? What's that? Onomatopoeia. What's that? Onomatopoeia. What's that? Onomatopoeia. What's that? Onomatopoeia.
Okay, welcome back everybody. I hope that little video just helped to demonstrate some other words that are onomatopoeia as well as the ones that we've got within our text today. So what we're going to move on to now is having a think about why onomatopoeia is important and why writers use it in their writing. So let's start off with this sentence. So let's start off with the sentence of skiing downhill. It's a fairly good sentence. We can see in our mind what's happening. It looks a little bit like this. So the sentence gives us the visual, it gives us the picture in our brains. However, if we swap the word skiing and we use some onomatopoeia instead, for example, swooshing, then we say swooshing downhill, we not only get the picture, but we also begin to hear the sounds as well. So it really helps to bring those pictures to life. In poetry, like we've been looking at today, it's really, really important because the writer's trying to create the clearest picture that they possibly can in as few words as possible. In poetry, the more meaning you can pack into just a couple of words, the better. So in this case, our onomatopoeia, using that word instead of skiing, means that we're getting a bit of a 2-for-1 deal because we're getting the visual and we're getting the sound as well. So let's have another little look at an example. This comes from another poem. It's called The Dinosaur in School. And here you can see the poet has put some verbs in their sentences, and this is the idea that it comes with. So it says, this morning a dinosaur came into school, ferocious, atrocious, and covered with drool. He had to be practically 20 feet tall and walked around looking for something to maul. Yeah, again, a great poem. But can onomatopoeia bring this poem to life a little bit more? Can we start to hear what's happening as well as see what's happening? So if we swap those underlined words for some onomatopoeia, do you think it improves this poem? Let's have a little look. So now we've got, this morning a dinosaur tromped into school, ferocious, atrocious, and dripping with drool. He had to be practically 20 feet tall and banged around looking for something to maul. And I think, hopefully, you'll be able to see there, by just swapping some of those verbs for some onomatopoeic verbs, it means that you really get to hear what's happening as well as see what's happening. So, thinking about all of this, today's writing challenge. So, my challenge to you guys today is to write your own poem full of onomatopoeia. You might want to write a sound collector poem. Think about the different sounds that they could collect from your house. Go back to that list you wrote right at the beginning. What sounds could you include in your own version of that poem? You might want to write a list poem. So thinking about lots and lots of onomatopoeic words. There's one of those as an example in your learning pack today. And within your learning pack, there are some other onomatopoeia poems, so you can have a look at to help you to see if you can write a different poem using lots and lots of those onomatopoeia words today. Obviously, once you've written your poem, if you can snap a quick photo of it or email it to us, we'd really, really like to see them. So you can send them to your teachers at year 3 at redbrookhayes.staffs.sch.uk, or year 4 at redbrookhayes.staffs.sch.uk, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing them. So pause the video now and get on with writing your onomatopoeic poem today. Okay, welcome back. I hope you've had loads and loads of fun writing your very own onomatopoeia poem. What we've got for you now is an extra bit of a challenge today. We've got an art challenge. Again, this links completely to those onomatopoeic words that we've been having a look at. And these words are really exciting, like gurgle. It really gives a picture of what's happening and the sound of what's happening in our writing. So, another little challenge that you could have a go at today is drawing one of these words in a way using shapes and colours that really demonstrate its meaning. So if you have a look at the example that I've given you, you can see that the poof has got a cloud, a poof behind it. The crack's got lots of cracks happening with it. The vroom looks like it's moving really, really fast. Perhaps you could have a go at drawing the word drizzle. Maybe you could do chatter or clink, jingle, screech, swoosh, or any other onomatopoeic word that you can think of. Again, snap us a photo and make sure you send it in to us at year3@redbrookhayes.staffs.sch.uk, or if you're in year 4, send it to Miss Foster at year4@redbrookhayes.staffs.sch.uk. Final little bits from me before you get off and hopefully have a go at that art challenge is don't forget there's loads and loads of online learning you can be doing. We've got our Times Table Rockstars, we've got our accelerated reader if you've finished a book and you want to quiz, and we've got some spelling activities on Spelling Shed as well. All of the links to those websites are on the school website in year 3 or year 4's page, so have a look at those if you want to. And finally from me today is a little bit of a brain teaser to get your thinking caps on, and I'll give you the answer to this when we start our learning tomorrow. So the brain teaser today is this. So in the olden days, a man rode into town on his horse. He arrived on a Monday and spent 6 days in town and left on Friday. How is that possible? Have a little think for me. Speak to your family about it, try and work it out, and then email your answers to your teachers. Miss Cunnington is year 3@redbrookhayes.staffs.sch.uk. Miss Foster is year 4@redbrookhayes.staffs.sch.uk, and get those answers to us before tomorrow morning, and then I will give you the answer to this brain teaser and you can see if you were right. Have a brilliant Monday. We're so excited to see what you've been up to with your poems and your artwork today, and I will speak to you tomorrow with our next set of learning challenges. Good luck year 3 and year 4. Bye bye.